Welcome, everybody, to Disney Co. in the Know. This is a short series that we are doing with our contributors about their ideal Disney day. So each of our contributors has been asked to come up with one resort, two restaurants, and three attractions that would have to be included in their ideal Disney day. So today's guest is Disney Co. in the Know contributor Lydia. Lydia, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Bruce.
I can't wait to hear about your ideal Disney day.
Yeah, of course.
So
I'm excited.
before we get into all of that, Disney Co. in the Know is sponsored by 407 and Beyond Vacation Company, Disney and Universal experts who help plan your family's perfect vacation. So all you have to do is show up, have fun, and create family memories. As always, our services are free to you. Visit us on the web at www.407vacations.com. All right, Lydia. Well, let's get right to it. I want to know, for your ideal Disney day, which resort are you going to stay at? And walk us through what you're doing in the morning.
Yeah, of course. So, if anyone has ever listened, they know that I'm a Polynesian girl. Like, I love that hotel, but this time around, I actually chose the Grand Floridian. And the reason for that is I haven't stayed there in a really long time, but when I did stay there, like the thing I actually remember the most is how comfortable the beds were. And I don't know if that's because we were so exhausted after like a long day in the park, but these mattresses are like they're heaven. It's just I don't even you like lay in them and your body just like melts and all your soreness from walking like 10 hours that day just go away. So that's why I chose the Grand Floridian. And of course, it's absolutely beautiful. So,
Right.
I would love like waking up in the Grand Floridian bed and like they're totally classic hotel rooms. The lobby is that, it's the white Victorian architecture going down to the lobby. The fresh cut flowers throughout the hotel are just absolutely phenomenal. This the scents, the sounds, just everything about this hotel is amazing, and I think it's on many Disney fans' bucket lists.
Yeah, Lydia, I would say that there is a really good scent here, and it's just very
Hmm.
it's like reminiscent, and it's also like just feels like clean and crisp.
Yeah,
And I absolutely do love the Grand Floridian. So,
yeah.
I do know, just because we've known each other for so long, that the Polynesian ranks up there for you, like as your favorite. So what is it about the Grand Floridian, I guess, on there being on the monorail loop that makes it like for the classic or ideal day for you?
Well, I think it's like it's nice that it's really yeah, it's nice that it's on that monorail loop. So, I actually really like ending my day at Magic Kingdom. I love being on Main Street at night and just seeing the lights and the music. I like how Main Street is open like an extra hour, so you can shop and kind of like mosey your way like out of the park. I've always loved that. I think like the other parks do that to an extent with like some of their sections, but yeah, there's just something great about it. So being on that monorail loop like after leaving the Magic Kingdom is just so like just ideal to me. Like I love that concept of just being like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, it's literally 1 a.m.
Right.
Oh wait, I can
Right.
just get on this monorail and I'm literally at my hotel in 2 seconds. So
Right. And,
it's
and
really
even
nice.
an added bonus to that is that the fact that they're building that walkway from the Magic Kingdom to the Grand Floridian. So you don't have to wait on a
Mhm.
boat, you don't have to wait on a monorail, even though those are fun and convenient and modes of transportation where you can sit down. But
Mhm.
it is nice that they are building the walkway there so you can walk back to the resort just like you do the Contemporary.
Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
all right. So you're staying at the Grand Floridian, which excellent choice. What are you doing in the morning
Thanks.
hours?
So, I my in this case, I'm gonna wake up early because I love sleeping in, but I'm gonna wake up early. It's
So it'll be like
it's
11
so
a.m.
yeah,
No.
like 11 a.m. No, I'm like in this situation. I'm like, okay, I'm getting up at like 7:30, which
Ooh.
is like
Okay.
really early for me. So I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna like take my time though, of course, because the hotel is really nice and like everything smells amazing. And
Yes.
then so I'm gonna go down to the Grand Floridian Cafe for breakfast, which
Very
is
good.
it's just really beautiful. Like it's again has that Victorian architecture like throughout the whole hotel. And yeah, it's just really great. There's a lot of good stuff to choose from. It's not just like your typical like, Hampton Inn breakfast. So they have like avocado toast, steak and eggs, buttermilk pancakes. So there's like a large selection to choose from, which I think is really nice. And I know I have to like I'm not a breakfast person, but I if I don't eat breakfast before going to a Disney park, it's like hangry city
Yeah.
because of the heat and the walking. So I like kind of have to
Yep.
force myself to eat breakfast when I'm there. But since it's so delicious, I don't mind.
Right. How would you categorize or describe the theme of the Grand Floridian Cafe? Like, I would call it Victorian, but I don't know if I have the sense or the ability to say that accurately. So, how would you describe it?
I mean, it's really nice. Like you walk in, the seats are really comfortable. It has that like white. I mean, I love. Okay, well, like when you walk in, I love like all those windows right there
Mm-hmm.
that you see, like in the waiting room. It kind of like has like a I don't want to say like Crystal Palace vibe because
Yeah.
it's carpeted and stuff,
Right.
but it's definitely it kind of has like a conservatory vibe
Yeah.
where you
That's
go
good.
in and it's just like it's very relaxed. Like it doesn't have that typical like cafeteria, which
Right.
of course this is a sit down place, but in some of the other hotels, you go in and it's very cafeteria like, and this is more of a restaurant, so it's really
Right.
nice and adds to that like high end experience that you're paying for.
Right, yeah, for sure, over at the Grand Floridian. So,
Yeah.
yeah, when we said the ideal Disney day, money was of no issue.
Yeah.
So, you got
No
to pick
issue.
whatever you want. So, all right. So, you're staying at the Grand Floridian. You are walking down to the first level and eating at the Grand Floridian Cafe. Where are you going, or what are you doing next?
So I love starting my day in Epcot. It's just something about it. It's one of my favorite parks. I'm like always jumping back and forth with what my favorite park is because new stuff's always being added. But I just love Epcot. I love coming in on like the Future World side. I
Okay.
think that's like the main entrance and just seeing like the sun rise up over, Spaceship Earth and all the like seasonal flowers being planted there in front of the beds. It's just really beautiful. I love the music. Like it's so peaceful and just, so classic Epcot. So yeah, I'm gonna start my day there. And in this scenario, I have a fast pass for Soarin'.
Good.
And I'm gonna get on that ride and travel around the world. And then I'm literally gonna go travel around the world while not
Right.
leaving.
So Lydia, on your ideal day, I imagine when you are riding Soarin', that you are sitting in the a middle aisle
hmm
and all the way up at the top, which would be the front.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
No dangling feet.
Right.
Yeah. That's like the perfect spot to be sitting. Of course, like anywhere on the ride is great because it's, that curved screen. You still get like all the scents thrown at you and everything.
Right.
But, having that like really like I don't know, like there's nothing out of like your peripherals. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
so what about Soarin' do you love most?
Well, I actually am more familiar with the ride when it was in its California screen.
Okay.
So I think I've only ridden it once or twice with the international,
Around the
like the new
world.
screening. So, but what I remember about it that I loved so much with the California screen was just like it's so immersive. Like they throw, when you went through the orange groves, they would throw like the scents of oranges at you when you
Right.
felt like you were going down on the water. Like they would splash like mist water up on you, and you actually like would pick up your feet like unintentionally. So, I just like that it's totally immersive. And I know now like you end at like the Eiffel Tower, and I think there's like you go through the Great Wall of China and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with like the international version
Yeah.
as the
So
California one.
the international or soaring around the world is actually high up on my list, a contender for my ideal Disney day, in fact. And I love going through all of the best well-known places throughout the world, and then ending up there at Epcot as the final scene. But there's something about this ride that feels classic. I think it's obviously or not obviously, but it is very original. An Imagineer came up with it using an erector set one holiday season, and so it just feels kind of like that authentic classic Disney, that it's not just this out of the box attraction. And so
Right.
that
I love
technology is
the
used.
rides. Oh, go ahead.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead. I was
Go
just going to
ahead.
say that technology is used in Flight of Passage.
Yeah, yeah, same type of, sensation in terms of like the screen and stuff. So and in the how it's raised up. But I just love Disney rides that aren't based off of movies. Like something about those completely original Imagineering rides just make the experience so much better, because it just reminds you that like Disney is 100% capable of coming up with original content and
Right.
storylines, which I love.
Right,
So
and
yeah.
and you were saying, which we'll get to in a second here, that it's fun to go around the world on this attraction and then go straight into World Showcase. So talk about
Right.
that.
So I love eating my way through World Showcase like many people. Some people drink their way through World Showcase. Um, but I like when I'm in Disney, there is no like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just
Right,
like
it's all the
breakfast,
time.
breakfast two, maybe lunch one, lunch two. Like it's just constant eating. There's like no limits for me. Um, so, I always like in this case, normally we would start in Mexico and like go around and end in Canada, but in this scenario, I'm starting like in Canada and ending in Mexico because I want to eat lunch in Mexico.
Okay.
And so in this scenario, remember I woke up early, so
Yes.
to get that fast. So of course I would stop we always stop at every single one. I know some people like just go to the ones they want, but of course, like I would make note to like especially stop at France because their bakery is just absolutely delicious. Like how's boulangerie and patisserie. It's just like
Oh,
I know.
that even
There's my
sounds good. And
that's from my heart.
yeah, nice work with that. I'd have been like, oh yeah, the French bakery.
Yeah, and it's like it's newer because it used to be in that like little strip there, and then they like put it in the back.
Yeah.
So, which makes so much more sense. It's so much more open and nice now, and you can like look at all the desserts along with them, the sandwiches and such. So,
Right.
definitely stop in there to get some more food.
And I will
And then,
say, oh, I was just gonna say real
no, go
quick,
ahead.
that little bakery back there does serve like sandwiches and stuff, and it just feels like you're like in a train station or something.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
really
that is
nice.
the theming, but I always feel like Lydia, you and I have been to France and been to Paris,
Hmm.
and it just feels like you are in a little, or not a little, but you're in a bakery at a train station, and which
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, and they did a really good job of making it actually feel like France. I mean, they do that with all their countries. So you actually feel like you're in the country. But sorry, my earrings. Let me know. That's annoying. Um, but yeah, and then of course I'd make like I could live in that Japanese gift shop.
Good old
I
Mitsukoshi.
Yeah, I could 100% live there. I was in there once, and this girl was sitting next to me, and she was like, just, I think if it wasn't her first time in there, she just loved this store because she was like, this is the best thing I've ever experienced. Like, it's amazing for someone who like geeks out. They have Zelda, they have Mario, they have Pikachu, they have
Yes.
every like Hello Kitty. I mean, it's great. So I definitely make a stop there. Um, and then of course, eventually ending up, well, got to stop at Italy, get some Italian margaritas.
Oh.
Love the Italian pavilion. Bruce and I have also been to Italy. When we were in St. Mark's Square, I'm standing there next to my dad, and I'm like, oh my God, this looks just like Epcot. And my
Right,
dad
I
was like,
know. Isn't that? Yeah, I know. It's so funny that you go to these places
mm-hmm.
abroad and you're like, oh, I see where the inspiration was for Epcot. Like it feels like we are
Yeah,
in Venice or in Paris or whatever. So that
yeah,
just goes as a testament to how great World Showcase is
yeah.
in the designing.
Yeah, it was. My dad was like, "I brought you all the way to Italy, and you say it looks like Epcot." I'm like, "Hey, that's good Imagineering right there."
Right.
Um, so definitely stopping there, and then eventually ending up in Mexico, where I'd be having my lunch.
Right.
So yeah, I
Very
mean,
good.
super great.
The one thing I do want to touch on just real quick is you talked about how great Mitsukoshi was, and I couldn't agree more how authentic that store is. But not only with more of the modern stuff like Nintendo, Mario, Zelda. You said these are things that are outside of my vernacular and understanding, but also the kind of historic or classic Japanese type merchandise that you can get. So you can get the kimonos, you can go back to the sake bar in the back. So just it's such a great store because it has kind of older, more authentic Japanese stuff, and then also kind of the more modern stuff that our generations, minus me, excluding me, are more familiar with. So
Yeah, it's great and it's big. It is huge. So you can definitely take your time, going through there and enjoying and learning a lot about the Japanese culture, which is really awesome.
it is. All right. So where we ended with lunch at the Mexico Pavilion. So
hmm
where we headed after lunch?
So, of course, well, I'd have the empanadas con queso while I'm there because those are hard to find. Like, unless maybe are from Mexico. But we live in Ohio, and I have a hard time finding empanadas up here. So I always make sure to stop and get them there. But
Sounds
then
good.
after that, so I'm done with World Showcase, and I am, of course, this ideal Disney day. I have the park hopper, and COVID
Absolutely.
isn't a thing, so I'm gonna
Absolutely.
park hop.
This ideal Disney
So
day takes place in 2024, by the way. No, just
yes,
kidding.
and I've won the lottery.
Yeah.
So I am gonna head over to Hollywood Studios and catch the Disney Skyline because I
Oh,
haven't
yes.
been on that yet, and I would love to experience that. I love the sky. We did a Skyliner in Lucerne, Switzerland, and it was amazing. That was like my first Skyliner experience, and like one in
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
sounds just as amazing. So, I would love to get on that, get over to Hollywood Studios, and go to Galaxy's Edge because I've also never been to Galaxy's Edge yet. We were planning on going, and then this happened, so I cannot wait to get over there. And then, of course, writing Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. I
Must
have,
do.
like I said, haven't read it, haven't wrote it yet, but I've seen, like the point of view videos of the ride, and Bruce has written it, and it's just like it sounds like a ride that's never even happened ever. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like it's so innovative.
yeah,
Maybe
it
you can
is.
talk a little bit about
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah. I mean, you opened up Pandora's box there because now I'm not going to be quiet about it. But Rise of the Resistance is by far the best attraction in a theme park. It is like nothing I've ever ridden, but more importantly, I should say, have experienced before. The whole thing is an experience. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is up there with the best themed lands in Orlando, up there with like Pandora or the Wizarding World over at Universal. So you just get immersed in Star Wars, and then you go ride Rise of the Resistance. There's not much better than that. So Lydia, so far so good on the ideal day.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot wait to get over there. Even like just going to the gift shops and the food. I've seen some like people
Oh, the
review some of the
food.
food, and it's
Oh,
just like it looks great, and I love how they like name it like it's like Star Wars stuff, but
yeah,
it's
you
really just pork.
right. Yeah, you have to get a Ronto wrap. That is like the staple over at Galaxy's Edge, and it's delicious. So Ronto wraps when you get there. Remember, you just ate lunch, but you're eating all day as well. So
Right, right.
you
Yeah,
got to get the Ronto wrap.
I mean the heat and it just makes me feel miserable sometimes, but I will chug through the misery to keep eating at Disney. So once we're done at Galaxy's Edge, we got that park hopper,
Oh yeah.
so we'll probably like stay in Hollywood Studios a little bit more. Maybe head over to Toy Story Land because that's newer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but eventually making our way over to the Magic Kingdom, where we have a dinner reservation. So again, we're eating
Ooh. All
again.
right. All right. I like it.
And yeah, so my favorite, probably my all-time favorite restaurant. Um, because of just the nostalgia and the memories we have here, is the Plaza
Oh
restaurant on
yeah.
Main Street, USA. So it's just such a classic. I mean, anyone who, really wants to experience Disney World needs to go to this restaurant. It was
Yes.
Walt's favorite. I get the meatloaf, which is rumored or confirmed to be his favorite dish.
From
It's delicious.
Carnation Cafe, is that right, over at Disneyland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It's just like it's such a great. It's right there on the street. If you're sitting there, I mean, during the parade, during the fireworks show, any time of day, it's just you can hear everything going on in the park, and just there's these
Yes.
great open windows. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great choice. There's not much better than being able to sit at the end of Main Street in a quaint little restaurant there that has, just kind of the comfort food staples, and then look
Hmm.
outside the window and either see a fireworks show or just look at the castle and the people walking by. The Plaza restaurant is just a moderately priced restaurant, but in a premium location with great food. So Lydia, I will meet you at the Plaza on your ideal day. How's that sound?
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay.
And then, of course, since we're in, the Magic Kingdom, I love riding the Haunted Mansion, specifically at night. Like, I love getting off that ride at night. I don't know
Right?
why, but
Yeah.
it's like it's even so much more immersive because you get off and you hear like the werewolves or wolves, whatever, are howling, and you get off of there and it's just like, ooh. So I
Right.
love riding that ride at night. So I definitely make sure that happens while I'm there at the Magic
Yes,
Kingdom.
it just adds a extra layer of spookiness,
Mhm.
and it's as if the spookiness continues after the attraction. So,
Mhm. I love
yes,
it. Yeah,
love it
it's
too.
great.
Good. I'll tell you what. I don't want to spoil what my list will be, but there could be some overlap, Lydia.
Well, I'll wave to you.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission on this day.
Yes. All right. So after the Haunted Mansion, do you have anything else that would just kind of conclude your ideal day?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Happily Ever After fireworks show. The first time I watched it, I'm not even exaggerating. We were with like our entire family. Literally tears were running down my face. Like I couldn't even control myself. It's just like your entire childhood is projected up onto Cinderella's castle. How
Right.
can you not
Yeah.
love that?
Yeah.
So I loved just like I love that show. I know some people don't, and that's fine, but I
It's
love
not
it.
fine.
Um, and so yeah, I definitely would go out of my way to watch that fireworks show before
Yeah.
we, head out.
Happily Ever After is a show best shared with family and friends.
Hmm.
I've seen it by myself. I've seen it with family and friends, and the more close people around you for Happily Ever After, the more emotional and the more special that show gets for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just Disney's really good at tapping into that
and then we go
nostalgia.
spend more
So.
money, right?
Right. And then, of course, taking that extra hour and just shopping on Main Street. I love that. Like, I
Yes.
have so many great memories of my mom and I just running from like store to store as my dad like exhaustingly sits in front of the train station. Like, uh. But, ending your night at the beginning of Main Street, up on top of the train station, I highly recommend that. A lot of people like you're even when you're in the park and you look up, you don't see a lot of people up there. So it's definitely kind of one of those like I would maybe call it a hidden gem where you can go up there, you can get a great photo, you can look out onto Main Street and the castle and just kind of take it all in. And so yeah, definitely make sure to walk up there before the day concludes.
I totally agree. That is an excellent way to end your ideal day, and then you can walk, take the boat or the monorail back to the Grand Floridian. So
Mhm.
super
Mhm.
easy. So all right. Well, Lid, is there anything else you want to share about your perfect ideal day at Disney?
No, I think at the end of the day, I could not wait to get into that bed and then wake up, and then maybe the next day would just be like
Sleep
poolside
in.
because that seems like a really busy day.
That's funny.
So,
Well,
yeah.
you will have earned the sleeping in the pool day after the
Yes.
day that you just described. So
Yes.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Lydia, thanks for getting on here and sharing with us your ideal Disney day. To catch
Yeah.
Lydia's article over on our blog site, check out www.407vacations.com/in the know, where on the Disney Co. in the know blog, we post not only daily news coming from Disney and Universal, but also contributor articles, ones like from Lydia that go through her ideal Disney day. So make sure to check our blog page out for more on that. So Lydia, thanks again. That will do it for this short video of Disney Co. in the Know Ideal Disney Day series. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.